All right. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our social media seminar. Tonight, we will be talking about the basic features of some social media platforms and how your assembly can utilize them to increase your social media presence. So tonight's presenters are members of the New Hampshire marketing team. Hi, my name is Claire. I'm Grand Chaplain and Marketing Liaison.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and I am the Publicity Chair, as well as the co-coordinator of the Grand Representatives and coordinator of our program book for Grand Assembly.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Messina. I'm your jurisdictional marketing liaison. Thanks for coming.
So I have a quick question. How many of you have seen Cobra Kai? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Cobra Kai is a Netflix spinoff of Karate Kid. Johnny here hasn't really kept up with technology since the 80s. He says things like hash brown it, trying to refer to a hashtag, and he says things like send it to the internet. Through the series, though, one of his students helps him get more acquainted with technology. So some of you might be able to relate to Johnny tonight, but regardless, it's a great show. I highly recommend it. So things we're going to discuss tonight. Number one, the importance of social media. Why are we having this seminar in the first place? Number two, some key features of both Facebook and Instagram, because those are the two platforms that you will likely be using the most. Number three, we will have a brief overview of Snapchat and Twitter. And number four, some posting tips and etiquette. So why? Why should your assembly be on social media? The truth is that social media is becoming more and more pertinent every single day. Over 3 billion social media users currently are on social media, and that number is increasing daily. In fact, every single second, 11 new social media users emerge. Furthermore, 90% of marketers saw an increased traffic to their organization when they use social media. Our target audience, girls and their parents, are on these platforms and likely use them daily.
All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is Facebook. Facebook is probably what most of you are most familiar with. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter tend to be marketed more towards our active girls versus the adults. That's not to say none of you have any of those accounts, but Facebook is probably what you're most familiar with. So we'll start with their standard mission statement. Founded in 2004, Facebook's mission is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. People use Facebook to stay connected with friends and family, to discover what's going on in the world, and to share and express what matters to them. So where do you start? The first thing you want to do as an assembly is create your public page as an assembly or as a state. Facebook has the option to create a private group or a public page. We most recommend using a public page because it's the best to promote your assembly and your state. These pages are ones that the general public can like and follow, and they don't require visitors to request to join. When you have to actually search out a group and you have to request to join, it's a little less inviting than a public page you can just like and follow. From there, you want to start sharing images and information on your organization. The more you post on your page, the more activity you're likely to get. You can track your page visits, likes, and comments and determine which posts are getting the most interactions. I'll give you some examples of those shortly. And you can invite people to like your page that have liked your posts. So if your post shows up on a newsfeed because someone else shared it and somebody likes it, you can then go and see that they liked it, and then you can invite them to like and follow your page. From there, grow your business. You want to follow other pages that are similar to yours, so follow other assemblies, follow other states, follow other youth groups, and follow other things that share your ideals as an organization. By doing that, people who already like those other pages, your page will show up as a recommendation. When you're scrolling through your news feed, you'll get the suggested page or suggested posts. Those show up because you've already liked something similar. You also want to make sure that everything you're sharing is relevant and current information, and you want to share it on a regular basis. The more posts you share, the more you'll be noticed and the more you'll be remembered. Again, the idea of it popping up on news feeds over and over again. By also having a public page, you can host public events so your community can get to know you and get to know what you do. So if your assembly is hosting a membership event, by doing it on a public page, anybody who likes your page or anybody who shares it gets to see that you're hosting an event, and they can ask you questions, or they can find out what is going on with the event and how to get involved. So these are some of the statistics that you can find if you are an admin on a page or an editor. You can go into the insights page on your Facebook page. This is for our New Hampshire Rainbow page, and you can get a breakdown of weekly as well as monthly. So you can kind of see, I did this a couple weeks ago, but you can see that for that week of September 26th to October 2nd, we were down on pretty much everything. But for the month of September as a whole, we reached 29% more people, and we had 60% more engagement than we did the previous month. Unfortunately, we're down on page likes in comparison to the previous month, but we had a lot more interaction, which means we had more posts running and we had more people interested in commenting and liking and sharing. You can also look at your 5 most recent posts and get an idea of what people are looking at and what's actually being engaged with. So again, I did this first week of October. So you see the end of our September, beginning of October posts, and you can see how many people it reached and how many reactions there were to it. So it gives you an idea of what people are interested in and what they might want to see more of. You can also tell if you boosted a post. That's an extra thing that you can spend money on, and it just it allows the post to be seen more frequently. It boosts it and it engages with more people. And finally, you can look at the demographics of your Facebook page. So it makes sense. 81% of the people that like our New Hampshire Rainbow page are women. 18% are men. From there, it breaks it down into the age group. So only 1% of our followers are between the ages of 13 and 17. So only 1% of our followers are actually girls, whereas the majority of them are your recent majority members or your older girls and your adults. So you want to take that information and look at that demographic and determine, okay, if I'm making a Facebook post, am I appealing to the girl that may or may not already be active, or am I appealing to the parent that might want their girl to become more active or get involved to begin with? With us, we might want to start focusing specifically on parents based on this demographic. Not only if you can look at gender and age, it also gives a breakdown of countries and cities and languages, which is really cool. So you can see that we have followers from all over the world. So it gives you a better idea of who's actually looking at your pages and why they might, and you can kind of figure out why they might be looking at them. And I believe that is all that I have for Facebook. Did anybody have any questions about anything that I went over? We'll do a little Q&A at the end too.
All right. So now let's talk Instagram. Instagram is a free online photo sharing application and social network platform that was acquired by Facebook in 2012. Instagram allows users to edit and upload photos and short videos through a mobile app. So you're looking for a place to start. First, access the app on your computer or mobile device, then create your profile. Instagram gives the option of a business or personal page. Business pages are highly suggested because they are automatically made public, they're free to use, and they track engagement. The app itself will take you through the details of what this entails. Number 2, post a picture. Along with every post is a picture. Make sure it sends a clear message and is of good quality. We'll talk more on the features of a post in a coming slide. And number 3, grow your account. Growing your account can be done in a few ways. Number 1, you can interact with other accounts. This means commenting on other people's posts or liking them. We want to keep this to rainbow posts, rainbow accounts, so you're not commenting on some random person's post. Also, stay consistent with your posting. You know, your followers want your content, so you want to make sure you're consistently giving them that. Also on Instagram, you can boost your posts with money. You can use popular hashtags. We'll talk more about what a hashtag is in a later slide. You can utilize shout outs. For example, if you see a really cool post from another assembly and you want to send their post to your story, you can shout out their assembly, also in the hope that they will shout out you back. The same is true with follows. You want to follow other accounts for their content, and hopefully along the way, they will follow you back. So here we have some profile features. Here is our profile picture. It's the same as our Facebook profile. We have our username and our official name. We have our bio. A bio is a brief description of what your page entails. So this is our bio. These are some popular hashtags that we use on our page. And also we have a link to our website. So another feature is a story. A story is like a post. We can only see it for 24 hours. So if we had a story on this profile, you would see a ring around our picture, but it's not pictured in this screenshot right here. But say you wanted to keep these stories for more than 24 hours, you can highlight them on your story. Here we have 3 categories. For example, if you guys were familiar with our virtual Grand Assembly, all of those posts that you guys made and posted to our page, we kind of highlighted right here. So coming down to this banner right here, here we have our posts. So going to this tab, you can see our posts. If this picture was expanded, you'd see all 184 of them. And in this tab, it stands for Instagram TV. Typically in your usual posts, they can't be more than a few seconds, but here they can be up to 10 minutes. So if you had a speech you wanted to post or maybe a drill, you would have to post it under this tab. And then we have our saved tab. If you wanted to save a post, all of those posts would be found here. And if another account tagged you, all those tagged photos would be under this tab. So our feed, or the string of posts we see from people we follow, kind of looks like this. If we were to expand this photo, we'd see posts like this one stacked up on each other. But let's get into some post features. So up here we have our profile banner. We have the profile picture as well as the username that the post belongs to. We have the actual picture. We can see that there are 2 pictures here because you can post multiple pictures at once. You can use the arrows to go back and forth. In the lower left-hand corner, we have the like, comment, and send icons. So if you were to press this, you'd like it. If you were to press this one, you'd be able to comment. And if you were to press this one, the send button, you'd be able to send it to other individual accounts, or you could send it to your story. We also have their caption right here. It's concise, it's fun, it gives a description of the post above, and they also use hashtags. So a hashtag. A hashtag is a word or a phrase preceded by a hashtag or a pound symbol. It's used to identify or associate a specific topic with a post. So for example, if I were to go to the search bar and search hashtag NHIORG, all the posts, no matter what time they were posted or what account posted them, you would see them when you enter that into your search bar. So that covers our Instagram portion, information session. Do we have any questions on Instagram so far? Again, we'll also have a Q&A at the end if you don't have any questions presently. No? All right. So now let's get into some posting tips for Facebook and Instagram. So our suggestion is posting about once a week, but again, that's up to your assembly. Always, always, always keep in mind grammar. Use popular hashtags if you're into that. Always stay apolitical. You represent New Hampshire Rainbow when you have an assembly account, so you want to steer clear of political things. And you also want to stay consistent. So that means in both your timing and the quality of your posts. So on the right here, we have some content ideas. For example, you can post recent events. So you had a really great time cleaning up the beach. Let your followers know. Say you have a project coming up and you want to get people excited, post some event type. This can be a supplementary flyer. This can be a meme. It's really anything that gets people excited for your event. So testimonials are great. Inspirational quotes are great. Feel free to hop on the hashtag #WhyIRainbow bandwagon and show your followers what Rainbow has to offer. You can also repost other assemblies on your story, and you can also recognize holidays or international days. For example, New Hampshire Rainbow recognized National Energize Day, where we encouraged our followers to really take a look at their mental health. So the ideas here are truly endless. The key is to be just creative in what you post. And any questions, comments on that so far? No? All right.
All right, let's talk Twitter. So Twitter's, it's a pretty simple program. It's all about quick, short news. So this program is very awesome. I want you to think of social media like a chart. You have your topic, Grand Cross announcements. On Facebook, you're gonna make it more of an article. You'll have a nice picture. You'll probably announce the girls' names, obviously not their full names to protect their privacy. And that's how it'll be celebrated. On Instagram, it's mostly picture heavy, so you'll have a picture and a nice caption to go along with it. Not necessarily anything as big as a paragraph or an article, but more of a caption style with proper hashtags. Twitter would be the live updates. As each girl's name is announced, Amanda got Grand Cross of Color, Grand Nature got Grand Cross of Color. So it's just these quick updates so people that aren't there can get the news. Next slide, please. How do you start? It's pretty simple. You go on twitter.com, you create a profile. It'll ask you to put a profile picture and a bio and to follow people. If you're trying to make an assembly page, try to think of a generic picture, whether it's the rainbow sign or maybe you make one online that says Goffstown Assembly or G-Town Assembly in a small picture. And just write a bio of who you are and try to follow similar accounts. So you'll probably want to follow other Rainbow Girl accounts, Demolay accounts, Masonic related accounts, maybe things that are encouraging and positive towards younger women. Then you're going to simply just post a tweet. It's about, I believe, 120, 150 characters, and it's just a quick live update. It could be as simple as Dairy number 15 is now on Twitter. There's a tweet. And growing the account, all you have to do is interact with other accounts, retweet. Retweeting is like if Girls at Work says, New Hampshire Rainbow Girls at Girls at Work doing a project, you can retweet it and it'll be on your Twitter page and your Twitter followers will find you too. Next. Does anyone have any quick questions about Twitter? We will go over it again later, but I'm here to answer. Okay, we'll move on to Snapchat. The Snapchat is also a new program. It's a couple years old, but the thing about Snapchat that's different than all the other social media is there's really no history that's associated with it. On Twitter, I can go back to March 2020 and see what you posted and see how your account has evolved over time, but Snapchat is solely photos with sometimes captions on the photos or stickers, and it only lasts 24 hours just like Instagram stories, except there isn't a way to make it into a highlight, so once it's there, it's gone. The great thing about Snapchat is, again, it has some of the similar attributes as Twitter because it's quick news. So if you wanted to post back to the Grand Cross announcement, a Snapchat of the girls going up to the east and hearing about their announcement, all your followers will see them. And the way you build a following on Snapchat will definitely be following other similar accounts and letting people know through other social media. Next. So it's as simple as downloading the app, creating a profile. If you have any questions what a Bitmoji is, it's kind of like a virtual person of you. I personally wouldn't advise making a Bitmoji if you're going to represent a group or organization. But you can just have the regular ghost, and that's a generic profile picture. Posting a snap is almost as simple as taking a picture. You go right to the bottom of the screen, you press the button like you would do on your normal camera section on your phone, and you just post the snap. And then it appears on your story, or you can send it individually to people you follow and that follows you. I would advise as a group organization, you probably want to stick mostly to stories and not sending to individuals. But again, it's up to you and how you decide to use your social media. And growing account, again, I would advise bringing up your Snapchat on some of your big, broader, like Facebook and Instagram, encouraging them to follow you at your Snapchat tag name, and just be consistently posting. But again, this is short news, so it's going to be mostly events or girls going out and do community service. There's filter options. You can create filters. I don't exactly remember how to do it off the top of my head, unfortunately, so I owe that for you for homework. But you can go on the website and suggest a filter and a time frame, like Grand Assembly, and then when people use Snapchat, they can use your Grand Assembly filter and celebrate the great weekend. Does anyone have any questions about Snapchat? Next.
All right, so I know a big concern for a lot of people is safety. A lot of people are worried about social media and the hackers and the spam accounts and all of the other craziness that is associated with it. So how do you stay safe? First and foremost, only give first names. You can do last initials if you need to, but by only giving first names, you're not then giving random people access to your girls' full names, and they can't then go search up their profiles and try and find them. By only giving first names, you're limiting the exposure of your girls. Along those lines, you don't want to provide any personal information. You don't want to give like their specific date of birth. If you want to do a birthday shout out, great, but don't say so-and-so turned 16 today and is getting her license. You want to be careful with that personal information of all of your girls. And you want to limit the specifics of when and where your girls will be. Yes, you want to say, hey, we're doing an event on this day. You then want to kind of reduce the amount of information of which girls are going to be there, because you don't want to say, hey, Claire's going to be at Hampton Beach on Saturday at 3:00. Now the entire world knows where Claire's going to be on Saturday. So you want to be a little careful with how you post the information about events that the girls are participating in. You also want to make sure that you have parent permission before sharing any posts or information about their girls. In New Hampshire, we have to sign a form along with our health forms. The parents have to sign off whether they give permission for the girls' images to be on Facebook or on any form of social media. So check to make sure that all girls have that permission. If they don't, you then have to make sure that you don't. If you have a group photo, you have to figure out a way to not include their face in the photo. You have to make sure that their information is not included. So you always want to make sure parents are on board with information that is being shared about their children, and that the children are aware of what information is being shared. From there, you want to educate your girls about online safety. You want to make sure that they know if someone follows their account that they don't know or tries to friend them, not to accept it, and then to block the follower. If they don't know them, they really shouldn't be connected with them on their social medias. Don't tag personal accounts. This goes along with only giving the first names. If you try to tag one of your girls in a post, that then leads someone directly to find their page. Even if it's a private account, they can still get a little bit of information about your girls. So along those lines, make sure you're blocking any bots or suspicious followers. Keep an eye on the people that are following your individual pages, whether it's your state page, whether it's your assembly page, or even your own personal accounts. Keep in mind that there are a lot of fake accounts out there, and robots too. So just keep all of these things in mind and do the best that you can. It's not a perfect system, but by processing what is being shared and what is being liked and who's liking all of these things, you can keep your girls safe.
All right, so here we have a template for a project marketing timeline. My assembly encourages this timeline on our project planners, so I really just pulled from there. So about a month out, you want to get the initial word out about your project. So post your flyer, directly notify your assembly, really just get that initial word out. When you're about 3 weeks out, start posting some more event hype. Again, this could be a supplementary flyer, it could be a meme, it could be polls. Really just get creative there. And then it's basically the same process for the when you're 2 weeks out, just post more event hype, more feelers, how are people feeling about your event. And then the week of, you want to make sure that your project has reached its maximum audience. So post more event hype, send out reminders if you needed RSVPs, things like that. And of course, you want to post about it either during the event, like on Snapchat or Twitter, or you can post after the event, like on Facebook or Instagram. And as always, if you would like to have anything posted to the statewide accounts, it's as simple as just DMing us and letting us know, and we can do that for you. So as our presentation tonight comes to a close, members of our team have a few closing remarks before we go into our Q&A. So personally, my last piece of advice is to utilize the younger members of your assembly. Eventually, you might even want to have them take over your social media responsibilities. So because content created by them for followers like them can be very beneficial. So Jordan, what is your closing remark?
So my best advice is, like Claire said, use your younger girls, but also if you, depending on the company that you work with, your company might utilize social media. So take a look at how they're using it and see if there's anything you can do to amplify your Rainbow Assembly account, because media is using it all the time. I work for a radio company and we use our social medias account all the time. It's a great way to talk to our listenership, and it's a great way to interact with people and get people to know what we're doing as far as events go. So take a look at what your companies are doing and if they have social media, and kind of see what you can take from that to apply to yourselves.
Jen, your closing remarks?
My closing remarks is I want you to think of social media platforms in the way of a chart. So I know there's so many. We didn't even talk about LinkedIn, but that's even another one to tackle at some point. But I want you to think of the event. Grand Assembly. How do I post Grand Assembly on Twitter? How do I post it on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram? If it is an announcement, put the article, put the full story on Facebook with a picture, not required, but I would advise. Instagram, give me a quick caption with a nice photo. Twitter, give me the live updates, and Snapchat, give me the photo version of the live updates. That's the best way to tackle it, not to overwhelm you and not to overdo it, because you don't want to have the same exact story on every single platform. It's got to differentiate a little bit. That's my final advice.
For sure, for sure. Thank you, Jen and Jordan. Now at this time, we will be having our Q&A. If there are any questions, feel free to either utilize the chat box, or if you feel comfortable, you can also speak with your microphone as well. So if we don't have any questions at this time, I did receive one beforehand, and it was more about the concerns of the safety on social media. So Jordan, could you elaborate a little bit more on how important safety on social media is in New Hampshire Rainbow?
Yeah, we try really hard to make sure that our girls are all safe. We make sure that when we post information, it's not super specific, like I was talking about. You don't want to say, Claire's going to be exactly at this point at exactly this time. You want to make sure that the world doesn't know exactly where all your girls are. And same thing, you don't want to give out the last name. So, I could post about Claire, but I don't want to give out her last name to the entire world. Some people might already know it, especially if you're involved in the rainbow world. But you don't want to give those specifics because you want to make sure that your girls stay safe. You want to reduce the opportunities that the scammers reduce the amount of opportunities the scammers can have to find your girls and search for their personal accounts. I know some of our girls have public accounts. I would recommend, as recommending to the parents that their accounts are private. By doing a private account instead of a public account, not anybody can just go and like and follow your page. And for Instagram and for Facebook, you can choose which posts are public and which posts are private. So just make sure you're educating your girls about what posts should really be private and what posts are okay to be public. Anything they share from your state page or your assembly page is going to be public. So if somebody finds their page, they're going to see all of their shared posts about New Hampshire Rainbow or their local assembly or your respective jurisdictions. But anything they post about, their school or their friends and stuff like that should really just maintain between them and people that they know. So just make sure you're having those conversations with your girls to make sure that they understand that there unfortunately are people out there that are looking to, get more information about them and see what they can find out. So it's important to have an open conversation. And if you're not comfortable with it, talk with the parents. If you see something that a girl posts and you're worried about it being unsafe and you don't feel comfortable conversing with them about it, talk to their parents and see if they can get involved.
For sure. And feel free to, reach out to your leadership in your jurisdiction or your assembly if you're not sure if you should post that or how you should phrase that. So you're giving as little personal information as possible. So if you have any concerns there, please reach out. It's better safe than sorry.
Also, I'd like to caveat on that, what both of you were saying, check out photos. Make sure you're looking at the photos, the defined details. For some reason, we'll say one girl is taking a picture, giving a peace sign, but there's a girl in the background who's close enough, and for some reason she's holding her driver's license. It may not look that close on an Instagram photo, but I can copy it and I can zoom in and get some information on there. So just taking a couple of seconds and really just analyzing the photo. Are there garments sticking out? Is someone making a weird gesture and it looks inappropriate or angry or not the message conveyed in the photo? So those are definitely tips that will help you with safety too, to protect the girls.
For sure. Mm-hmm. All right. Do we have any other questions? All right. So it doesn't look like we do at this time. If you somehow think of someone after this presentation, you have our email as you responded to this event. So just feel free to reach out to us at any point. We're here to guide assemblies in their social media usage. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I would like to thank you all for coming tonight. It was great to see such a large audience for our virtual seminar, and happy posting. Nope. Thank you. All right. If that is all, I hope you all have a great night.